All right, so Connor, you're the very first person out of the three of you that I get to talk about One Piece.
Yes, I know, right?
It's really strange, honestly.
This is going to be a shock to everyone because no one knows I've been reading it. I haven't said anything.
Oh, this is like the first reveal, basically.
Yeah, I'm not going to read any of the comments of this as well because, again, I don't want to be spoiled.
Yeah.
I'm still only up to, I think, volume 15 of One Piece, which is insane to think because of any other... If this was any other show, this would be a lot. Like, I've read a lot. But in One Piece, it's nothing.
Dude, it would like there's stories that are not even 15 volumes long, so
like it's completely ruined my frame of reference for how long manga is. Like normally every other manga has like a, I'm going to say healthy duration, whereas One Piece it just feels insane. I've read so much. It takes so long to read 15 volumes.
Absolutely, and I mean you can kind of I think I have almost everyone, but like that's kind of
Is it? No, this isn't all of them.
It's not all of them. It's
because I
like
have all of them.
25, and it's probably.
I have all of them, and you could make a chair out of it. I'm not kidding. You genuinely could.
A throne. Reading it.
It looks like a throne in my living room. It's like it's so stupid.
Dude, it must take away so much space. Also,
it does. I've realized that being a One Piece fan requires you to have a lot of money because you need to have real estate. You got to have room to put it.
Unlike me.
Yeah. Where do you put this? Where's all the One Piece?
My room is 50% One Piece at this point.
Oh my god.
All right, I was thinking let's start it off with a couple of rapid fire questions to catch you off guard.
Okay.
And then we can kind of like go into a more fluent conversation.
Okay.
So number one, what's your favorite character at the moment?
Can I? Okay, I'm gonna meme this. In the English translation, it says Zolo.
Solo?
Zolo. And I was reading it. Okay, Zolo is my favorite. Zoro, sorry. Actually, fuck, I'm memeing it too much. Zoro is my favorite so far, or Sanji.
Nice.
I thought Nami was annoying, but now I like Nami too.
Okay.
Nami's backstory kind of made me think, okay, all right,
made it
fine.
better.
All right, you got me. But Zoro has been badass consistently, and it's been awesome. Like, he's so funny. Does no one like Usopp yet? Is it
takes
this
a
point
while.
in the story? I was gonna say. I figured they made him annoying, but in this currently, I don't like him that much. But he has his moments. I feel like even for a character that is meant to be annoying, he's really fun, and he has moments of like getting over the cowardice, right?
Yeah.
Which I like. But yeah, what's up with the weird translations?
Dude, so I'm not sure if you're aware, there's basically an unofficial translation of many things.
Yeah.
And then the official Viz version.
Yeah.
And the Viz version kind of had some interesting translating choices.
Okay, so one of the things about these videos is that I'm not telling anyone I'm reading One Piece. Obviously, they're going to find out now, but I'm not going to talk about it until I'm done.
Yeah.
Is that I'm going to talk about this and probably have a bunch of weird stuff that I've picked up from the Viz versions because I'm reading it all physically in the English and the Viz. So I'm going to be like, yeah, man, I love Zolo and I love the water guns in that one scene. It's like, what's going to happen? I don't.
Yeah, the comments are going to be probably brutal once you put that video out.
But I'm going to be like, it's not my fault. It's the only thing I can read. I want to read it physically.
You should. It's good.
Why Zolo? Why?
Zolo.
I read apparently because I Googled it because I was really confused. It was one of those things where like it was the Mandela effect where you're like, you swear you heard it differently.
Absolutely.
And I did hear it differently because it was Zoro. I Googled it and apparently it's because they were worried about copyright with Zoro, like the swordsman.
Really? Is that
like the actual, because obviously Zoro is probably named after Zoro in some way.
Yeah.
So apparently they were quite worried about that.
Oh,
I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true. That's what I read.
Oh, that's interesting. I just assumed it was because of the Japanese Zoro, which can be kind of like an L
can be
or
L or
R.
R, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
But maybe that's why they felt safe doing the Zolo.
So like, let's definitely pick the lame name to be sure.
Yeah, Zolo sounds shit. Zoro sounds cool. I think Zoro is my favorite. Again, I'm up to volume 15, so we just started Drum Island.
Oh, nice.
And probably my favorite scene so far, which kind of came out of nowhere, was the Zoro versus the swords guy who turns up, basically kicks his ass, then leaves. But it was so epic and it was so hype. Yeah, it came out of nowhere. Like, suddenly this guy just turns up, and then now Zoro is like rock hard because he wants to fight him and prove his worth. And this was so cool. That was probably my favorite scene. So
really,
far.
yeah.
So
You're already taking my questions away now.
Oh, okay, shit, sorry. I'm just talking about it. Okay, sorry.
No, I'm just kidding. It was really cool though because like same when I first read it, it was, as you said, you kind of expect it to be like something that comes at the end of the story kind of, and then it just happens right away.
There was no like warning. Like it just like turned up, and he was like, all right, okay.
That's kind of nice though. I feel like it's always cool to like set up the character and then give him like a big like drawback kind of right at the beginning. Yeah.
Now we know that like I'm probably going to get some payoff later off. I'm sure One Piece fans are like, yeah, I know it's going to happen. It's got to happen. This is the whole point of him existing.
We'll find out.
This is why I'm
It's gonna be
reading
so hard, like not spoiling you, bro.
That's
I have to
spoiling
be
it.
so careful.
Right.
I'm like maybe not. Who knows? All right. You already said like that was your favorite fight and favorite scene, I guess, so far.
Maybe not my favorite fight, but my favorite scene.
What was your favorite fight then so far?
Oh, I think my favorite fight. There's been a lot of good ones. I find that initially I was a bit kind of confused with the fights because I couldn't really figure out if he was going for funny fights,
right,
or if he was going for more serious fights.
Right, yeah.
But now it's finally felt like after about 10 volumes, it finally felt like it got to a point where, okay, we're going in the more serious direction, we're kind of taking it a bit more seriously. And I like that a lot. And I think definitely the restaurant fight was probably like the sign where it felt like, okay, finally. Because the character just gets gassed. Like it's just like it goes from like a clown who's like really funny and wacky and whoa, we gotta tie him up, we're not gonna kill him, to like I'm literally gonna gas this guy. And it's like, Oda, bro, what happened? And like this, like,
I think we talked about this. It's really interesting because you kind of feel like he's trying out so many different things. Like, is it a comedy? Is it like really dark?
Yeah.
And it kind of like it finds a bit more of a constant, but nonetheless, throughout the story, it like kind of switches things up depending on the setup.
Yeah. There'll be moments of humor. He loves doing the things with Looney Tunes' eyes popping out. That always happens whenever Usopp just says anything. It seems to be. But yeah, I mean, that's definitely my favorite fight, I think, so far. I also really like the two giants a lot.
Oh, yes.
Those two were so fun. And especially, you know, their kind of closure to the arc where they like hit the fucking bridge. That was so hype, man. And also the Arlong fight was hype. Although I felt it kind of just ended.
Yeah, it was pretty fast. That's true.
I thought that in the video when I was recording it, I was like, oh, he's definitely going to come back because like he's not done, right? He just got kicked, and then it just ends, and then they suddenly have a happy ending and they all leave. And I'm like, what?
Especially in early One Piece, I feel like the pacing was a lot faster.
Oh, it's breakneck, right?
And like recently, it's been getting like the recent arc that's been going on. That's just been like over 200 chapters at this point. So that's
entire manga.
Yeah, it is. It literally is. But it happens more as you would expect it, where like the villains get back up more and more, and it's like kind of this more drawn out fight. But yeah,
Arlong literally got like kicked once and then just didn't get back up, and then that was it. And I was like, wow, okay.
I feel like in that regard, it was more about like the emotional story behind it, kind of. Yeah,
it was definitely Nami's redemption arc.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what that whole arc was, and kind of helping Usopp have a bit more character development. But you know, right now I think, and I'm sure a lot of One Piece fans will maybe agree with me. I don't know if they will. Right now, it just feels like Luffy is too OP. I think the main issue with it is that it's almost boring to watch Luffy fight in a way, because you just know right now that he deals with everyone.
Yeah.
Whereas the other characters, even like Zoro struggles, Sanji is just busy off flirting all the time.
Yeah.
And then occasionally kicks the shit out of people, which I fuck with. I like that. Sanji's fun. Sanji is never there half the time, but turns up when there's a woman. So I kind of...
That's pretty much how it goes.
Yeah. I kind of get it.
I don't actually remember. Is like the Zoro getting lost thing, is that already a thing? In
Zoro getting lost?
Yeah, that's like the big meme usually.
Actually he has been lost a few times.
All right.
Or he's just not there.
Right, that's kind of like the big meme with him, I
Really?
feel. Yeah. He like gets lost everywhere.
You know what the weird thing about being an anime fan is and not having read One Piece is that you pick up so much weird One Piece info and references that mean nothing to you.
Right.
And then when you start reading One Piece, it's like being in like a dementia state where you're just slowly recovering.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, I know Zoro. I know who Chopper is. I didn't know what a Chopper is.
What it is.
I know what Chopper is, a character that exists, but I have no idea why. And I just saw Chopper for the first time. But it doesn't look like Chopper. So I'm like...
Well, they kind of changed, right? Because there's like, That's so interesting. That's kind of how I feel with JoJo, honestly, because I know all the memes and all the reference, but I've never really watched it. So I actually I think I told you, I watched the first season and then kind of stopped. But while I was watching the first season, I was like, I know that meme. I know the Dio meme.
Kono Dio. You know all the memes. That's why you gotta watch JoJo. But One Piece doesn't have many memes.
Not
go
as
outside
many.
of One Piece. Fans.
Yeah. I think One Piece just is generally you kind of know the characters even if you haven't read it, but it's not as memed as you said, if you haven't read the story.
Yeah, I mean One Piece is so prolific that I knew all the main cast's names.
Yeah.
Without having ever really consumed much.
Right.
It's weird because I did watch One Piece in my childhood, the 4Kids version.
Nice.
But you could never like get the episode in order, so you kind of just watch sporadic things. So while I was reading the Arlong Fire, I had this really weird memory of remembering this kick just destroy this house and viewing it. So I was like, oh wow, I have seen this. I just don't remember anything. At all. You don't know until the scene shows.
Yeah. I guess you get like a lot of these moments where it kind of bleeds in from like everyday life. Obviously, as you say, like you talk about anime a lot anyways. Yeah. And so you're kind of aware with like certain scenes.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and you'll watch videos about anime characters, and then Luffy will get referenced, and you'll be like, what is a gum something? Like, what the fuck is that? Like, this sounds stupid.
It's actually interesting because I always see like people commenting like, oh, you guys should read One Piece and stuff. You never talk about One Piece, but I feel like Gant and Joey mention it fairly often, right?
Yeah, I think they haven't spoke about it on the podcast at least because I'm like, please don't, because I want to read it. So please don't spoil it for me. So they've been very kind, but I'm sure when I've caught up and I've finished it, I'm sure we're going to be talking about it a lot. There's just a lot. Dude. Like, One Piece is long.
Yeah, it is. I'm not even sure. Is there, like, anything comparable? Probably not. Like, in that length.
Watching all of The Simpsons, I guess.
How long is all of JoJo? Like, there's, like, a couple of...
JoJo, I think, has... I think JoJo actually has more chapters, maybe, than One Piece. JoJo's been going on longer than One Piece, I think.
It's like from the 80s, 90s?
How many JoJo chapters? But then also the chapters have gotten longer as well. It has 131 volumes.
Okay.
JoJo is really long. But I think...
Let's see. I feel like One Piece might get there.
The thing with JoJo is that also... I think even though it has more volumes, I think it has less like content, I think.
That makes sense.
I'm not sure. I don't exactly know. I'm not that big of a manga guy. Right. But JoJo is really easy to consume because you can read a part, stop.
Right.
So...
Oh, yeah, it's a lot more episodic than,
A lot of people who would say they're JoJo fans haven't read all the JoJo. Even I haven't read all of 8. I've only read a bit of 8, and I don't know why I haven't read 8 yet. It's just kind of, I want to get around to it. It's
that's fine.
But I think people would argue I'm a big JoJo fan, and even I haven't read 8, right? Because it's like you don't need to necessarily read the next part.
Right.
And a lot of people are anime only, and there's only... 5.5, I guess.
Seasons.
Season 6 is halfway through.
Yeah.
I'm not going to turn this into a JoJo video, but you should.
I have to. When I get into it, we'll make a video on it as well.
I will say with One Piece, so far, there have definitely been moments that are really boring in it.
What was like the most annoying or like boring moment you can remember where you're kind of like, that's kind of like dragging on?
I was reading the arc on the one where they're on the giant island with the two warriors, and the whole what is it? Is it Baroque?
Baroque works, yeah.
Baroque's assassins.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't mind some of them, but like assassin number 3, that fight was so boring.
Oh, with the wax candles?
With the wax candles. Right. I was like, what, dude? Come on, man. This is lame. It's like they're stuck in wax. and it's like there's this really cool moment where Zoro's about to chop off his legs to get out the wax. I'm like, I mean, it's wax. Like, surely you can just like cut it up or like... I mean, this is the dumbest way to kill someone as a villain. Like, why are you just putting them in wax and letting it slowly drip on them? Surely, if you have wax powers, just envelop them in wax and kill them. Yeah. Like, this fight was so boring and dumb, and it felt so like stally. It was like, oh well, we gotta have some kind of climax to the island.
Yeah, it was kind of like a unnecessary fight, maybe, because like the giants are kind of like the main thing.
They were so cool, and they could have carried that part alone. And the whole assassins felt very like Looney Toony as well, where they're like, "Whoa, we're the bad guys. We don't actually do anything." It's like, "Oh, we'll stop them."
I would say there's a couple of like more goofy villains coming up also, but it's really hard for me not to say anything without spoiling.
The thing that makes me keep reading, even when there's a few boring moments here and there, and there's not many of them, I will say that so far it's been really entertaining. Is that I'm trusting One Piece fans that it's as good as they say it is, and I'm going to keep going regardless.
Right.
Because why are people so obsessed with this thing if it wasn't that good, right? And like I like shonen, so I'm sure I'll enjoy it.
Right now, like if you had to give it a rating out of 10.
Right now, 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10 already? That's good. That's a relief.
It's solid, yeah.
It's probably going to get better from here only.
Because there's been some arcs, there's been some fights, like the restaurant part. The entire restaurant part was just such a joy to read.
Yeah.
Like Shinji's backstory, not Shinji.
Sanji,
fuck my God. Why did I say Shinji?
All good.
Like Sanji's backstory.
Explode.
Yeah, right. Oh my God. What? Evangelion? Sanji's backstory was amazing. Every character in that arc was just really entertaining. The villain, although, obviously we're going to win. Right. I didn't really mind. It felt like it was going to... The stakes were there. everything felt good in that arc. And then Zoro's part, like that was such a strong moment for me. That was like a 10.
I will also say you're still stuck in a period where we're like talking early 2000s, if at all.
That's crazy.
So it's like 2000, 2001, 2002. So obviously, just the story vibe itself is still in that period also, and the art style develops a lot more. In general, I feel like you can kind of tell with most stories that are this long and that like are successfully that long. You can also kind of tell the author growing over time.
I one thing I really like about it so far is that even though in some ways it does feel a little dated, like it feels like a 2000s show when I'm reading it.
I mean, the art style early on especially is like very 2000, absolutely.
I kind of dig it though. I really like the early art style.
Nostalgic.
Like, it's pretty awesome. Like it's really clean as well. Like a lot of mangakas, you see that it's kind of shaky in the start.
Yeah.
Obviously not nowadays. Everyone's like insane.
You have to, otherwise you don't make it. Right?
Yeah. But like back then it was kind of like, they kind of get shaky, and then like JoJo's looks interesting in the start and gets a lot more interesting, I'd say, visually. But yeah, no, it's really easy to read. Like it looks amazing.
Nice.
I really like that he keeps sprinkling in information that I know will become relevant later on. But I'm talking like way later.
Oh yeah.
Because there's just been a bunch of things mentioned. Like, okay, I know this is going to be a payoff thing because I've heard this name a million times, but they mentioned Blackbeard for the first time, and I know that Blackbeard is going to be a thing that is hyped because people like years ago were like, "Oh my god, did you watch the Blackbeard thing, bro? It was insane." So I've heard about that.
Right.
So I know that's going to be a thing, but it's been hinted so early on, and other things have been hinted that I'm kind of, like the Zoro fight with I forgot the guy's
Mihawk,
name. That was hinted on really early, and I'm guessing we're not going to get a payoff for a while. So there's a lot of things where I like that they keep mentioning things.
Absolutely.
And that if I remember it, I'll be rewarded later on.
Dude, there's legit like stuff you're reading right now that you just read.
Yeah.
That like we kind of know will have a payoff, but that still hasn't happened in the story. So.
Dude. Oh my god.
Well, still waiting.
His office has got to be like the crazy person office where it's like fucking red line.
Dude,
like,
I think there's an image. Let me see if I got
how does he keep track of all this
It's
shit?
ridiculous. He has like folders and like folders, yeah.
It's making me stressed thinking about how he's going to tie this all in cohesively.
I think there's like this image of him just like sitting in this pile of like paper. It's kind of like, it looks like this.
Oh my god.
It's just like stuffed with like research and so, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I'm going to put it up on screen, but it's absolutely ridiculous.
How can you work in that?
The thing is, like, he also takes like so much inspiration from real life events and locations. So he has like all these encyclopedias and whatever. Yeah. Though I feel like he's really private as a guy in general, so there's not so much you know about him.
A lot of mangakas are.
Fair enough, I feel like.
Man.
Let me ask you this then.
Okay.
If you had to kill off one character, or you could kill off a character, you were able to, because if they're annoying, you don't like them, or whatever, like, who would it be?
I feel like the bait answer is like Usopp, right? It's going to be like, oh, get rid of Usopp, he sucks, dude. But I feel like that's the point of Usopp. He's meant to suck.
Yeah.
Like, he's meant to be like
absolutely
the loser who I'm hoping has some kind of, gets his moment, which I'm guessing he will, because,
maybe. I don't know.
Honestly, dude, oh no. So far, like, Luffy's the most boring.
Fair
is
enough.
Is that allowed? You're allowed to say that?
Like, I mean,
is that like a crime in Japan? Like,
no, not at all. No, I think it's really fair. It's actually like, I think Luffy as a character in general doesn't like, obviously throughout the story, without giving too much away, there's like moments where he develops as a character.
Yeah.
But he's more or less already a pretty, like, as you can tell, he's already strong. He's already like a kind of good leader at the beginning.
Yeah.
So he's not changing as much and hasn't as many flaws, I would say, as like most of the other characters. So it's fair to say, I think, especially at that stage where you're at.
And every other character we've had some really deep backstory, which has kind of explained why they are. And Luffy, we just haven't really been told anything. He's just a weird kid.
Right.
He's basically gone from Hunter x Hunter right now, but adult.
Yeah.
Right? I knew they said that. It's like 12 or something. I don't fucking know.
Gon is like, fucking child. Yeah.
Like, Gon is almost parallel to Hunter x Hunter in the first part, but also Gon changes as well, and Gon grows as a character in Hunter x Hunter.
So
and I'm guessing...
Would you agree that Gon kind of goes... like dark, right? Like he kind of has this negative character arc where he goes like completely nuts at some point.
But that's what makes Gon awesome.
Oh yeah,
is that it's
absolutely.
Like, Gon is like what happened if all those things had actually happened to him, which is like they would make you maybe make bad decisions, which Gon probably makes some bad decisions sometimes.
I mean, he's kind of a parody also on like the classic shonen character because as you say, like just like Luffy or like many other shonen heroes, he just like starts off as this like I'm strong and like always like ginky and everything, but then he goes downhill at some point. Yeah,
you know, like Hunter x Hunter is my favorite shonen of all time.
It's really good.
It's there are similarities right now between Hunter x Hunter and One Piece, especially the starting. Like, because Hunter x Hunter is notorious for having that kind of a slow start. You know, it doesn't really kick off until a few episodes in. But yeah, One Piece is definitely a slow burner. I think that's one thing I've learned, dude.
For sure.
It's hard as well because I'm also reading all of it on camera, and it's like sometimes I want to read it, but I don't want to read it on camera. So it's like I just don't read it. But I'm trying to catch up.
I feel like if you have that pressure, it's probably a lot harder to do.
Yeah, but I'm trying to sit down and at least read, like when I do read it, try and read at least 3 to 6 volumes.
Because you're kind of also interacting with the camera and like you want to share your...
But yeah, I'd say if this video comes out, I'm going to ask you, please don't talk to me about anything that happens after volume 15. I'm not going to read any of these comments because I don't want to know. I don't want to... I'll read it after. I'll read it after and I'll see what you guys thought of old me that didn't know about One Piece.
Yeah, please be kind also. Yeah, nothing on Twitter and so on and so forth.
Please don't cancel me, One Piece fan.
Oh, good. They won't. I think that's a really good first take. All right, well, thanks so much for sitting down and giving this exclusive preview.
Thanks, No, it's good. It's good fun. I wanted to talk about it. I want to talk about it, but I can't talk about it. But I guess this is fine. So I'm not going to interact with this. I'm just going to put this out. Well, you're going to put
It's going to live on its own.
Yeah. I'm not going to touch anything. Oh,
I'm just going to make the thumbnail something very like... Connor shits on One Piece. 1 out of 10 was mine.
People are going to be so confused because people don't think I've read this yet.
Right.
So people are going to be like, what the fuck? Why is he getting...
Bad clickbait.
Why is he going to get Connor? What the fuck? What's he going to talk about? Like Luffy's like hat? I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, dude. Thank you so much for having me, man. This was a ton of fun.
This is going to be fun.